the dance, let's say, at the intro or even at the bow, at small part of your dance, is able to finish the picture and tell this is not going to be a confident performance, and just change focus to a different couple. Or if you're alone on the floor, for example, doing a show or dancing on stage, it's possible they're going to take out their phone and be constantly on their phone while you're performing. So on the level of mimics and gesture, we have to show confidence. Something like I'm coming on the floor and I'm taking my skirt, playing with my skirt, shows I need to have some extra support, yeah? I'm not sure in what I'm going to show on the floor, so I need something to hold on to. Or I'm fixing my hair right there on the floor before we start. This gives away in confidence or insecurity. Someone watching it can finish the picture and decide not to look at you from that very point and not appreciate your dancing at all because you haven't even started. We have some micro mimics. So even whenever I pull on like a big smile, yeah, you can tell by the wrinkles, by the eyes, let's say, by crazy impression in my eyes, by eyebrows, that I'm not actually feeling happy and confident on the floor. And a lot of people in the audience, a lot of judges, you cannot deceive them. They're going to get it straight away, and they're gonna mark a more confident couple, or who seems to them more confident, better. And performance, right? A show, we wanna show all our confidence because we don't want people to take eyes off you. And third, why mimics and gestures are important is they provoke emotions. Have you ever seen trainings where people come for a training to make their life happier? So the speaker tells them, go up on your feet and start jumping. So a crowd of people start doing jumping jacks, let's say, and they leave the training just after 10 minutes of actually doing jumping jacks, and they feel happy. Why they feel happy? Because they gave themselves a little chance to start jumping and acting happy. So it provokes their happy feeling, their happy emotion. So whenever I'm gonna go on the floor and with my even micro mimics show nerves, unhappiness, not the right setup, or with the gestures, it's gonna provoke me feeling this way. That's why before we go on that floor, it's important that we set ourselves up for the right emotion. A technical exercise would be pull on a smile, stay with the smile before you go on the floor. I've heard about some scientific research. A bunch of students that were examined were doing a test, like a simple test in math. It doesn't matter what they were doing because that appeared not to be the target of that study. But part of them was doing it holding a pencil in their mouth. And part of them was doing it with their eyebrows close together kind of face. And then they were asked how they felt during the test. The test was the same for those holding the pencil and for those with the sad and angry face. And majority of the ones who held the pencil were saying they were feeling happy during the test, and quite the opposite, the ones who provoked an angry emotion felt unhappy during the test and they didn't like the test at all. The secret is to hold the pencil in your mouth. You automatically have got to pull an emotion of a smile on. So it makes you feel better, it makes you feel happier. If you want to genuinely feel better and happier on the floor, prepare right before, pull on a smile, provoke the emotions that you want from yourself at the performance, and it's gonna help you actually feel it and experience it on the floor. The second part of our confidence is in what we say. The first part was gestures and mimics. Second part that I have investigated was words. Why it is important what we say, what we pronounce about ourselves. I know a story about a lady who was told by a psychic person, being a young lady, who was told by a psychic person that she will not have a happy marriage and that she will change 6 husbands. And she was saying, yes, you know, through my life, as the psychic person predicted, I never had actually one happy marriage. And she was changing husbands one after another. Unfortunately, it wasn't 6 because we don't live forever. But this thing is, because she had a setup, she would have 6 of them. Every little argument was leading to divorce. Every little argument was leading to divorce because she had the setup of, I'm going to have multiple marriages, right? So if we psych ourselves up on, we know what we're doing, we look great on the floor, nothing can stop us, we are cheerful, we love the audience, the audience loves us, and everything else that we want to produce on the floor, if we develop it in words, if we pronounce it, then it's much more likely to happen. In the USSR, we also had a person who was calling himself a doctor, but he was actually a TV star called Dr. Kashpirovsky. He was meant to be a magician who is healing people through a TV screen. So what he was doing, he was saying, bring a glass of water to the screen. So people were bringing a glass of water to TV screen. And then he was saying, now say, every day I feel better and better. So person by the screen, every day I feel better and better. He says, say, all my diseases get cured. So all my diseases get cured. So however, it was not possible to heal people through a TV screen. Those people repeating those affirmations were getting better and better. We're saying how magical the doctor was. Whatever we say really matters. And here I see majority of the participants have got pro-am teachers to perform with. And I have noticed this is a common mistake by amateur in a pro-am couple, to constantly underestimating or devaluating their career, speaking to their friends or someone outside of dancing. They constantly want to say, I do it for fun, I do it as a hobby, I'm not really taking it seriously. Usually on the dance floor, something screws up. Usually I don't feel very confident or very well on the floor, but other people, they're real professionals, but I'm not. And think about which affirmation this kind of setup gives you. And if you weren't saying that, you would not be going the inconfident route. Same as the affirmations we had as an example before with the doctor on the TV screen, or the lady who was predicted to have kind of fate that she was trying to push herself to. So whenever we say it's a hobby, I'm not really taking it seriously, this is where we're going, and then we have a setup on the floor, not to dance full out, or whenever it's possible, leave the floor shortly, just not to shine too much. Another thing that we express in words as a confidence aspect is comparing ourselves to others. So you are comparing yourself to your rival in a good way or in a bad way. Let's say you are comparing yourself, talking about your rival positively. Then you watch a competition, or let's say you compete against them, and automatically you never feel good enough rather than that person. You always feel, yes, I should be behind them or behind her. and this deprives you from the strive to get the result better. If we're comparing ourselves to our rivals and we're not complimenting the rival, we're saying how bad they dance, how bad they look, anything negative about them, this gives us a supposition that they do the same with us, right? Whenever you say something bad about your rival, about your competition, you think this is what they do at home, yeah, with their friends, with their family, towards you. Then every time you're on the floor, you're subconsciously thinking, I shouldn't be wearing this dress. It's too open. My rivals will say, will laugh at me. They'll find it funny. Or I'm not gonna go to that competition. I'm not ready yet. I don't perform as well as I could, and everyone is gonna be laughing at me. And this is what you do to yourself, not letting yourself to progress by not pushing yourself down, but by pushing other people on the floor down. That means in a positive way, being compared to others is not good. In a negative way, to be compared to others is not good. So better not to try compare yourself, pronouncing that or not pronouncing that. I think this is a very important point. Then what else we can do to our confidence on the level of words or on the level of pronouncing? I can imagine a full picture of how I'm going to look on the floor. Imagine how you're gonna walk on. Imagine your energy. Imagine your emotion. Imagine what you're gonna wear, how you're gonna dance, which elements you're going to emphasize, how you're going to look in your key elements, how you're going to look in the beginning and at the end, right to the moment you left the floor. And this is going to help you run the situation in your head beforehand, and then there are less surprises on the floor. As we know, for example, we don't know the music, we don't know the music track that we're going to dance to, we don't know the layout on the floor, on a competitive floor, which couples are going to take which place on the floor, but we can predict how it could be and at least practice that. Those who were at the same studio with me know that before a competition, I did this practical exercise before every competition. I look for the video of the same competition from the previous year, put on the final, and dance it by myself without the partner, without the audience, as if it's a full-on competition. So here I just need a big floor, just the size of practically a competition floor, and imagination. Imagine you have got audience around you, you have got judges around you, you have got the MC. The MC is pronouncing whatever they do right here in this ballroom in their microphone, and know approximately how long the music would be. And as you know, tempo of different music at competitions differ. So I will know, right, samba last year was slower than usual, so I'm going to expect, chances are this year music is going to be slow again. So I have to be extra rhythmical, because I know other couples will just look smooth to this slow music and not give energy. So I understand, to stand out, I'm going to give more than 100% energy and stay on every beat and feel it in with the body, because the music is slower than usually the one I compete to. And one more point that I picked out on how we can help our confidence in words, saying that, is be generous on compliments to others. If you liked something that another couple does that you have seen in the show, tell them that. If we surround ourselves with people who compliment us, we become more confident on the energy level, on the words level, because we start worthing ourselves more than what we could. And they are going to feed you back for sure, in case if you are feeding them. So if you genuinely liked something, pick an aspect and say, I really liked it. And you might also want to copy that. So you could tell them, I want to copy that. I really like it on you, or it can't be compared to another couple, or this is a great implementation, this is a great invention of yours. And then they're going to feed you back. So one more thing I would like to say is, if right before going on the floor we actually pronounce an affirmation, it really helps. I was dancing with my burn the floor partner recently, and for example, I know personally, I see by gestures, I know how he behaves, so I see he's nervous right before the show, and someone would come to him and ask, are you ready? And his answer would always be, I was born ready. And I see how his intentions change, how his character changes, and he never would feel nervous on the floor because of that. So he puts an affirmation, I was born ready, which is quite extreme, I would say, but it helps to bring up the confidence levels. Next one, in the description, is the level of actions. So confidence on the level of actions. And here I collected a bunch of physical exercises that we could do to become more confident on the floor, or to feel no fear of performance. So number one is support from outside. If you take to your competition, to your show, someone who supports you, someone who will give you energy, this could be your family, your friends, this could be your colleagues, you're going to automatically feel you're not alone. You're going to feel like a group of people, and that makes you feel stronger and more powerful on the floor. You feel, and sometimes you feel like home, right? Sorry, I just lost a little bit the thought. Yeah, that's why it's very important to have good relationship with your partner, to be a good team together. If there is no one else but the two of you at the competition or at the show who could support you, you have got to be feeding each other with this support, and this makes you feel truly comfortable and confident on the floor. On the level of actions, when you perform, look people in the eyes. I constantly, when I have a good performance, when I feel confident, when people say I looked confident, I look people in the eyes. People on the first row, people behind. It might feel a little bit embarrassing to look the person you don't know right in the face, right in the eyes. So it takes a little bit of practice. Whenever you are outside, you're passing a stranger, try not to take your eyes off them or pretend you're on your phone, for example, but try to catch their face. Then next stranger, catch their face. And this is a practical exercise that helps us um, work with the audience and catch their attention. If you don't feel confident looking them in the eyes, take their face and look at the details of their face. Look at the shape of the eyebrows, shape of the lips, look at the makeup, look at their hair, and just keep analyzing what is there on their face. Then the other one that you can do before you come on the floor is called scare your own self. So anything that is the consequence of fear. So let's say a shake, yeah? Whenever we are scared, we start shaking. We do this multiplied, right? So You go somewhere where nobody can see you and you shake your body off as if you are scared massively. And whenever you did this exercise, I have tried it myself before performing, it helps you lose that fear, because it's hormones of fear that cause these muscle spasms. This, is it called tremor? So it's hormones of fear that cause this shake. And whenever I produce this shake myself, my body thinks, okay, this is enough of fear hormones, and we're not producing anymore. I don't know, maybe for this reason, maybe for any other reason, but it works. Whenever you properly shake yourself, whenever you act like you are scared, then you feel much more calm on the floor. And we are going next to the next action that we could do to feel more confident on the floor. We spoke about it a little bit last week, which is there is a certain amount of actions we can think about at the same moment. Being on the floor, performing, you think of your routine, your partner, your audience, your look, your body movement. You're thinking, oh, look who's judging. You're thinking about the room. You're in a new place to yourself. The floor is slippery. There are so many things to think about. It's called Miller's number. There is a certain amount of things we can concentrate on. And this scientist, George Miller, he says it's 7 plus minus 2 things that we can hold in our full attention at once. So it's a maximum of 9. Right now, by my fingers, I already named about 10 of them. Maximum of 9 that an average person can think about actively at the same time, and some people even 5, right? So if we arrive to our show or to our performance ready, it doesn't actively stay in your brain. So whenever you are wearing a dress that you haven't tried the night before, or you have tried the dress but you haven't tried your jive routine in it, so there is a chance that you're gonna catch your skirt with your heel, and you're constantly thinking about this, there is one thing occupying your mind. That means there could be no space for your routine, so you're blanking the steps, or for interaction with the audience. So you're looking completely dead and boring on the floor. If you have tried the music, like I said, this method of mine, dance one full final, or sometimes I do 2 in a row to the music from last year. Then you know the pauses, you know the voice of the MC, you know the tempo of the music, you know the length of the music, you can plan where to go on the floor. So your brain is not too much occupied with this at the actual moment of performance. Then put on your dress and try dancing full on final in it. Then know what your hair is going to be like, know what your makeup is going to be like. And it really decreases the level of stress if a stylist does it for you. I'm not trying to promote using stylists, but it actually takes off a lot of stress from you. If you are doing it with the stylist, book an appointment. Don't arrive at a competition and think, okay, I'm going to get in somehow. It happened to one of my students. She arrived, she had a booked appointment, but the stylists were busy with some other people, so she didn't get her hair on time, and she only got it 10 minutes before being on the floor. So you rushedly get into the dress, run on the floor. But this is your own responsibility to make sure it's going to happen. And if it's not happening, then help yourself, learn how to do it yourself. The whole grooming part, know how to put your tan on, know how to put your makeup on, now know how to do your own hair, just in case something goes wrong. the less things we think about on the floor, the less stressful it becomes. Then another tip, how actively by our actions we can make ourselves more comfortable, more confident on the floor, is take a lot of space. We were doing this exercise at one of the classes. Whenever I want to build the line of my two arms out, I'm lengthening one, lengthening the other, lengthening my head up, and lengthening my leg out, so I can take as much space on the floor as possible, because then there is less space to my competitors, first of all. Second of all, we have seen it in the cobra, the cobra snake. Whenever it's scared, it takes a lot of space around itself. Then it feels more confident. Then it feels like it can defeat its rival, whoever is fighting against the cobra. Or you see a little cute kitten, but if the kitten doesn't like you, it goes, and the fur just goes up, it becomes bigger, it feels bigger, and then it starts showing the teeth and biting. Whenever you take on the floor a lot of space around you in all moves that you can do, and feel tall and feel wide throughout the floor, throughout the final, let's say, or throughout the show, it gives you more confidence automatically. Like the kitten becomes confident in the bite can be really hurtful for you. And one more tip in how we can become more confident in actions is know your intro, know how you enter the floor, and know your bow, know how you leave the floor. Then everything in the middle will become more doable on the spot in improvisation situation. So plan the way you're going to enter the floor. Majority of us knows how to start the routine and knows how to maybe spin out for bow, but we never rehearse it. I would like for this one you to stand up, and we're going to just plan a couple of intros for different dances. Intro for cha-cha-cha must be in the character of cha-cha-cha. We constantly talk about the character of the dance. Cha-cha, cheeky, rhythmical, compact, yeah? And the energy goes out. So let's say I plan to go from this corner. I'm planning how I'm going to walk. Yeah, I'm gonna be tall, I'm gonna be wide in the shoulders, and I'm going to straight one leg as I walk. I would like you guys just to walk around. So I'm going to check how you do it. Keep lifting your chest and keep straightening just one knee. A common mistake is to keep both straight, because we were told we are dancers and we gotta keep our knees straight. So then it looks like I'm trying to run on crutches, right? Bend one knee well, straighten the other well. You can add a little bit of spice if you're also moving the hips a little bit. It does not affect posture. Posture is still nice, untouchable in its level. Chest is going up, shoulders are going down, and just a little bit of hip movement. And as I walk on the floor, I don't have to actually Rumba walk. I don't have to actually show off my legs and feet. We have got to just casually breathe out, do some little bit of affirmations before you walk on the floor, and nicely but casually walk on. Take your position, and here I recommend to find some dance position for it. So if we start, let's say, side by side with my partner, I'm not going to come in and stay like this, because I'm already being judged, I'm already being estimated. And I said, the audience is finishing its picture before you finished it for them. So I'm going to take some prepared dance position. For example, this, or for example, this. And even if music is not on, I'm going to stay here in this position. Or, for example, this, but something different from a casual pose. Then, whenever the music is on and I am in one of the choices of positions I have made, let's say I'm here, and then the music of cha-cha-cha starts, and I'm going to move the body and excite myself for the dance. This again brings us to the level of gestures and mimics. If with my movement I excite myself for the music, there is a big chance that my cha-cha is going to be energized and active and cheeky and in the character of cha-cha-cha that I want. If in my intro I prepared it, I already started it going. Many of us just know, okay, I start with the rond de chasse. So when practicing, we started rond de chasse, cha-cha one, yeah, as a routine. I suggest you planning how you walk on the floor, take a dance position. Whenever music starts, you already start moving in the character of cha-cha-cha, and then synchronized with the partner, you're going to start this rond de chasse. Samba is pretty much similar character, yeah? A lot of fun in this dance, just maybe in the intro, even more body movement that we do because of the depth of the music in the samba. For rumba, after we walked on and took the primary position, my suggestion here, we have to take all space around us and slowly and flexibly start moving the body. So let's say my rumba starts with just basic, with a back basic, holding my partner. So after I walked on the floor, I take a little pause, a little melt, a little breath, and I take position in my legs, open the arms, and start moving the upper body, psyching myself up for the rumba character already. And here with my gesture, to set it on a romantic mode between the two of us, I can reach out to him, even maybe touch his cheek, or maybe touch his shoulder, move my hand down on it, and then we start rumba together. So slow, flexible, sensual move, and you're taking a lot of space around you to get more confident in you took all the space, you took all the attention. For paso doble, I suggest a laconic movement, so short movement that slowly expands. We spoke about paso character so many times. I hope finally there are no questions on it. If there are, please ask me. So we do a paso doble line, which is different from other dances lines, and slowly expanding it before the music starts. And majority of tracks for paso doble is Espanacani, so the music that we know. So here we have to be prepared in our routine, not to start too early. If I plan that my paso routine starts on count one, let's say I do promenade on one, step on two, and I'm preparing, I'm in the beginning of my preparing, and it goes dun 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 dun. I'm already late for my first step. So plan to start later to Hispanacani music. Yeah, if I'm still preparing and the music starts on dun 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 dun, but my promenade goes on 5, then I have a much better chance and much less nerves spent on it at the competition as to go on 5, 6, or even the whole bar of feeling the music, of preparing, then you definitely feel calmer on the dance floor. There are many things, again, to think about. The Miller's number at the competition on the floor, and we don't want stressing about the beginning to be one of them. Then, as an intro for jive, I can choose, for example, little jumps. And here I emphasize number 2 or all even numbers. I go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Again, in some kind of dance pose. So dance pose and then up, down, up, down, up, down, before we decide to actually start our routine. Or I highly suggest, I really like this one, a shaking the hips for the jive. So I'm psyching myself and energizing myself so much, and setting my body for jive so much that it keeps producing the energy through the routine. It's important to plan how I'm going to start, as well as we pass through all 5 dances as intros. It's important how I'm going to finish. Yeah, if I had a good start, if I danced a good routine, now it's time when judges decide who got first and second place, because you must deserve that second place. You're looked, the first place, I'm sorry, you're looked at from the beginning to the very end to deserve first place. That's why it's so precious and important. You got to keep your energy on the same high level as the beginning, and your presentation has got to again mimic confidence and spread, I would say, happiness, yeah, cheerfulness around, to be contagious. So all people around you become happier and a little more cheerful. So for the ball, let's say the music stopped, we span out, I'm going to reach out to my audience, and it's important to practice the bow as well. So here I have a leg position that could be this, for example, which is a little bit worse than this. So I have to practice every time to spin out and get a proper leg position, get my body underneath my shoulders, shoulders down, chest up, proper pleasant face for your bow. And I had this mistake before. The actual bow of mine was something like this. So it already shows a lot of insecurity. And however well you danced your routines or your final, a bow that looks worse than your rival's bow will devaluate your result. So we have to maintain the appearance of confidence in the bow and know how to, after the bow, spin out together and walk off the floor in the same casual manner, not a rumba walk, yeah, not something like this, then not 2 knees straight, just breathe out, relax, drop your shoulders down, bend your knee whenever you need to, and walk better off your heel or flat foot, heel or flat foot, not to show a point every time. I have seen this kind of entrance and leaving the floor before at competitions. So everything in between goes much smoother and easier if you plan how you start and you plan how you finish. And so we're coming to our last aspect of confidence that we have, is the will or the spirit. Why we are actually afraid of stage, why that ballet dancer was telling that the level of stress of his is so high he cannot bear it and wants to run away from the floor. We're actually not afraid of the performance itself. We are afraid of failures, right? If you agree with me. So To overcome the fear of failure at the performance, we have got to imagine the worst case scenario, like what could happen on the floor that's going to embarrass you to the point you can't sleep. Let's say your skirt falls down, right? And this is a terrible scenario in my mind. So you imagine that, and you actually realize it's not as bad as it could be. All the imaginations of failures are feeding our insecurities and multiply the stress that we could have. If I lose my skirt at a performance, it could appear not to be as terrible if I play around it. Yeah. If, for example, I put it back on quickly and I attract all attention because they will be like, oh, what happened? What happened? So other couples don't get attention at the same time. Or I could cry straight away and run out without wearing the skirt. That wouldn't be good, right? So we're thinking it's not as horrible as we would imagine, right? And realize that. And that helps you actually push yourself, do that first step on the floor. Every failure is not as bad as it seems to us. Then it helps to realize that actually being nervous is, first of all, normal, and second of all, it gives us better results. It gives us better dancing, more attention to our dancing. Again, a study was conducted that students who are nervous before their before the exam, I'm sorry, students who are nervous before the exam pass much easier and better with higher scores than those who were confident, because they prepare better, because they pay attention to what they write on their piece of paper. So whenever we are scared, this is normal. This helps us dance better, become better, and be more attentive to our details. And the main piece of advice here, how to bring your will up, how to not be scared of competing or of performing, is push yourself to do it as much as you can. And I don't mean just our ballroom dance competitions here. Push yourself to go and dance at a bar. Push yourself to dance in front of your friends whenever you are gathering together at home. It all gives you more and more of experience of performing. And the one way we build up that confidence slowly, piece by piece, is trying to push yourself do it. Nobody yet grew in a comfortable zone. We're pushing ourselves out of the comfort zone. Only then we're able to be growing outside of that comfort zone. Those who stay in it, in my experience, they just keep discussing other people, which brings your confidence down more and more, and it becomes an infinitive circle, right? So you analyze failures of other people, being negative towards them, and you think, oh, they think the same of me. And then you're more scared to be there on the floor, and then you stay out and you keep analyzing other people negatively, and it all goes over and over. But once you push yourself to do that first step, even if you didn't enjoy, for example, your first competition or your 10th competition or your 50th competition, if you keep pushing yourself, doing this, performing, being in front of audience and being estimated, being judged, then only you can show more under this whole stress, and you can get used to how to behave there and find your own tools how to become better. And this was my view on it. I built it up, the mimics level, the words level, the actions level, then the will level, the affirmation level, by my own experience, because I was pushing myself to be there on the floor constantly. And hopefully you guys will be doing that whenever we're allowed. Whenever we're not allowed, it makes sense to videotape yourselves, share dance videos, maybe download TikTok. They say it's a lot of fun. And share your own dancing. Then you become more and more confident, and performance becomes just a piece of cake for you. So maybe one day you're going to share your own tips of how to be confident, of how to not be scared of performing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a great
advice.
Great advice.
Great advice.
Great advice.
Well, Elaine.
Happy Friday and happy weekend.
Oh, thank you. Happy Friday.
Okay,
Oh,
Polina,
guys,
you should say it to my student like a few years ago.
well, better late than never, right?
Yeah, no, like it was amazing.
And guys, if you have any additions or any questions, I'm very interested in this topic. Please share it with me. If we don't know something about it yet, I will try to come up with answers and analyze it. If I know something already, then I'll instantly help you or open discussion with me. I want to know more about being confident on stage. So please ask me, it's gonna help a big time.
If it wasn't enough, Elaine.
Yeah, bye. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Great. Okay.
Thank you, Maxime.
Thank you.
Thank you, Max. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, Max.
You too. Glad to hear you happy. Okay.
That was
Thank
great.
you.
So when
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. Elaine,
Yeah.
when you're performing in the bar and in front of your friends first.
Especially at the bar.
At the bar.
Right now.
Well, at the bar, you can have a few drinks first.
Oh,
Lots of courage.
lots of drinks.
Liquid courage.
You're gonna have dance in front of your friends, actually.
Yeah.
And I'll lose all my friends.
My friends are happy to laugh at me. Have a good weekend.
Bye.